Hello, hello, everybody. This is Mike, and we're here for the live drawing of the $50 giveaway. And also, we're going to talk about your survey results. So, thank you so much to everyone who entered. There were a lot of people who entered, so I had to do more complicated math than last time to actually figure out how I would determine the winners, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, so I'm here. This is a Thursday night, and I'm all by myself because both Peter and Steve, two of the podcast hosts, as well as Jerry, who's a frequent guest on the podcast and in my regular gaming group, they're all at Gen Con, living it up and hearing about awesome Marvel stories and stuff. How many of you are excited about that game? Because I know I, I very much am. Man, I got like a shiny forehead, don't I? Yeah, so we're going to do the drawing in just a little bit here, but I did want to talk about the survey results, just some things that came up frequently that y'all suggested. So, again, thank you for filling them out. So, first, for the videos, some things that were talked about. Hello. Yeah, and thank you everyone who's joined so far. So first of all, the big thing in the yeah, sorry, I know I'm sad missing it. I was going to go and actually talk up one of our design, the spare parts, but that got pushed back to PAX U. So that's why I didn't make time for Gen Con this year. I didn't want to abandon my family twice in one con season. But yeah, so the first big thing that people said about the videos was talk up the podcast more because a bunch of people were like, I didn't even know there was a podcast, which is totally on me. So I'm going to try to kind of mention that more. We're actually going to put some podcast episodes on the YouTube channel, which several of you mentioned as an idea. And super excited. Episodes 99 and 100. I guess I can announce it. Um, no, they aren't big gamers yet, Nick. It's a 3 and a 6-year-old. The 6-year-old is gaming pretty well, but the 3-year-old not so much. But yeah, so the episode 99 and episode of 100 of the podcast, so yeah, we're almost up to 100 episodes already. We do it every week. Is going to be a huge bracket showdown of the top co-op games on BGG. And if everything works out as I hope it will, and we'll have more about this, you all will actually be able to like vote and put your brackets in and potentially win something. If everything works out, we should have me, we should have Steve, Peter, Elijah, so that's all our regular podcast hosts, but also returning host and video extraordinaire artist emeritus, Colin should be back for our 100th and 99th episode of the podcast to help us decide, because we need an odd number, which of the best co-op games on all of BGG are going to kind of win out in this showdown. So yes, so we were excited. Awesome. Yeah, so that should be great. You'll hear more about that. Again, we'll put out the bracket, and y'all will get your chance to vote, and we'll have a giveaway if you. Where am I? I'm in my basement. There's like the place. Yeah. So just kind of show around. This is my basement. I got just a few shelves of games, as you saw in my. Games I've kept and games I've given away video recently. I call my game collection pretty aggressively. So my wife only lets me have 4 shelves at the moment, and I am limited to that. And with games coming in for coverage, it's pretty tough. And something cool. We're gonna bring this up in a second, but if you can kind of see this, there's a new overhead rig that I'm gonna be using to do some plays, both maybe live plays, but also potentially plays with me and other people, where like the overhead will show the game stuff. Dan says, yeah, number one will be Marvel Champions without any of us having played it. Who knows? Maybe. I'm definitely excited about it. Anyway, so real quick, survey results. Talk about the podcast more. We're going to do that. Probably second most thing that was said was bring Colin back. I would love for that to happen, but that's up to him. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm doing 2 or 3 games a week. If Colin came and did 1 or 2 of those, that would make my life a lot more relaxed. But yeah, I have no control over that. But some of you also said bring on guests, like interview people on the videos. I've never thought about doing that, but I'll go and check out how others do it through Google Hangouts and that kind of thing. A lot of you said co-op play with others. I've already done one of those with the overhead rig, and we'll see how it works out. I'm going to try a few more. I'm sure the tech will be terrible the first few times, but we'll try to get all the bugs worked out. Let's see. Some of you said what games are still in your collection. You already saw that with Shelf Life. The reaction to the Shelf Life video has been super positive, so that's definitely going to be a monthly thing for the foreseeable future. I'll just kind of add that in with the playthroughs and the reviews. A lot of you said cover some old games. I have had a lot of Kickstarters recently just because people email me and I like the look of the game and I want to give them some exposure. But yeah, we'll definitely be getting to some old games in my collection that we've never touched on before. a lot of top 10s and top 20 requests. We're going to be doing the top 20 solo once we get to $100 per month on the Patreon. We're almost there, so thank you so much for people who've contributed to the Patreon. If you want to see that top 20 solo games video earlier, feel free to go and contribute something there. Thank you. I'm glad you like Shelf Life. And then the last thing that actually got a ton of love, and I'd never thought of before, was doing playthroughs of unofficial solo variants for games that like aren't normally solo. And I certainly play those kind of things. You kind of saw it with Root a bit, although that's becoming an official solo and co-op variant. But yeah, I mean, I think that'd be totally cool. I don't just have to play games that are like solo made by the publisher. We all know that on Board Game Geek and Reddit and those kind of things, there are unbelievable solo variants for some great games. So yeah, I'll definitely look into that and try to add some of those in too. Should be fun. All right, so that's it for the videos. For the podcast, some of you wanted more in-depth conversations, not just like the 5 list reviews. I can't make that call on my own, but I'll talk to the other hosts. And some of you wanted more interviews with guests, and not just like talking about their game, but just like, hey, here's a cool designer. What do they do? What do they think about games? So we'll try to get that going. And then finally, some of you had suggestions for Patreon. A lot of you said voting on the game. We've actually had some of that stuff already going on with the $3 and $5 tiers for Patreon with a lot of votes. I think we've done 4 or 5 votes already. So if you want your voice to be heard, feel free to go and contribute. Some of you said playing with us, something that I think Rodney Smith does. So I'll look into that. I think that's awesome. I'll just have to figure out what the logistics are. I guess like maybe on Tabletop Simulator or through a Google Hangout or something, but that'd be cool. Speaking of Google Hangouts, a lot of you suggested doing like a monthly hangout for some of the Patreon members. I think that'd be awesome. Just kind of talk and see what y'all have to say. And then final thing is getting opinions on games that I'm going to cover, like sending out a message to all the Patreon members and being like, hey, what do you think? And then read out some of the opinions from other people to give others perspectives on games I'm reviewing. I think that would be phenomenal because I'm just one person. You saw in my, for those who saw the Human Interface review recently, I'm just one opinionated person who might not always love a game. So I think having other people's voices in there too is important. All right, yeah, we're past 9 o'clock. I didn't want to do the actual drawing before 9, but I think a lot of you are here to find out who's going to win the $50. And, you know, we were going to do a $50 game, but most people that I talked to were like, that's silly. Why not just do a $50 gift certificate for the online store of your choice? And that way you can buy like 2 games for $25 or save up for a big $100 order and not have to pay shipping. So I think that's what we're going to do, but I'll talk to whoever the winner is and we can work out whatever they want to do with that. All right. Yikes, Chris. All right, so let me flip the camera around. So we're doing on the iPad again. What I had to do, because there were over 200 and I think 38 entries. And you'll notice some people's names are doubled in yellow. Those are our Patreon supporters, so thank you to all of you. There's a bunch of them. They all got 2 entries, as I had mentioned back when the contest started. So I've got 4 sets up here, each one with 10 rows and 6 columns. So that's 60% times 4, so that's 240, just 2 over 238. So we do have a couple of blank slots on the last page. So I'm going to roll a D4 to determine which of the 4 sets we use, and then a D6 and a D10. Oh, there we go, some glare. The D10 will determine the row, the D6 the column, and we'll get a winner. So let's start. Thanks, Barrett, for meeting me at the table. Go check out Barrett's YouTube channel, everyone. It's awesome. So D4 to see who is... Okay. Is that... I hate D4s. 4. So everyone on this list, sorry. Now, we do have the odd chance that if we get the 10 row, we've got the 2 blank things here. I guess that'll be a reroll. So check the names. We'll do the row first, so roll the D10 first. Okay, so 2. So we don't have any chance of getting a null result. So 2s, we've got Rob, Ryan, Sean, Steven, Tony, and William. And Ryan is a Patreon member. So let's see which of them with the D6 gets it. Can I roll on the iPad? Why not? A 6, a 2, 6. William Brown. Not sure if you're watching, William, but I'll email you soon. William Brown is the winner of a $50 gift certificate to the online store of his choice for him to buy some awesome stuff, maybe to save up until October and get all the Marvel stuff that he can. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for contributing to the the site, the YouTube, the podcast, the Facebook, the Patreon. I mean, everything. Even if you can't contribute your money, we love you making comments and just giving us your views, giving us your thoughts. Even if you don't like a video, let us know. We're going to try to keep on making One Stop Co-op Shop better and better in the years to come. All right. Yeah, Will, you were pretty close. Okay, everyone. Thanks so much. I'm going to close this out. Have a great night. And yeah, go watch some Gen Con news. I'm sure there'll be some more cool stuff coming.